talk about how to make a good confession. The first thing you need to do is look up an examination of conscience. And there's a lot of different ones online. If you're in high school watching this video, I'd recommend Google searching a high school appropriate examination of conscience. Those of you who are married, single, in college, older, there's all kinds of examinations of consciences available, especially on the internet, to help you kind of go through the 10 Commandments, which ultimately is what the examination is doing, walking you through the 10 Commandments and seeing what sins you have committed since the last time you went to confession. A good examination of conscience helps you to prepare your heart and mind to come in knowing what sins need to be forgiven. Now, for those of you watching this, it may be decades since you last went to confession, or it's been a while. When you go to confession for the first time, which I hope is tomorrow, if not later today, you don't necessarily have to be very specific. When you start going back regularly, coming maybe every 6 or 8 weeks, or every once a quarter maybe, then to be specific is better, knowing that, I got into this number of fights with my spouse intentionally, that I cheated this many times on a test, I lied this many times to get out of trouble, that I, maybe even more serious sins for how many times we may have committed some sexual sins or something more grave, then the specificity is helpful. But if you haven't been to confession in 10, 20, 30 years, maybe 50 years, I would suggest stick to more of the thematic stuff, that in college I committed these grave sins. Then in my young adult years, this was an issue. When I first got married, these were issues. Those themes are more helpful for us priests who just want to help you become the best version of yourself. Start coming more regularly, being more specific with number and kind. That's also helpful so that we can help you grow in holiness and be the saints that God desires you to be.